'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Except, of course, for Nate, Ben, Rob, and Sean, who did least expect a visit from the grouchy landlord, Juan.
Come on, Nate. Why don't you give us a hand with these decorations?
Yeah, Nate. You've been sitting on that couch for 36 hours.
I don't wanna. I don't believe in Christmas.
Shh, not so loud. You're gonna ruin little Benji's Christmas spirit.
Here it is. I found it. The star that tops the Christmas tree.
Well done, young Benji. I knew you'd find it.
Can I put it on top of the Christmas tree now, please, Sean?
You can put it wherever you want, kiddo.
Huh?
Come on, guys. Let's give Benji the old holiday hoist. Even you, Nate. We need your brutish strength and low sense of gravity to get this star all the way to the top.
Okay, fine, but only because you said I have brutish strength.
They hoist the boy up with the utmost of care. Ben placed a star on the highest branch and said,
Looky there.
They took a step back, admiring their tree, all decorated and glowing on that cold Christmas Eve.
This is gonna be the best Christmas ever. Can we sing a song, can we?
I think so. What do you think, Rob?
Of course. What do you think, Nate?
I think I hate Christmas.
How about we sing Oh Christmas Tree?
Yeah!
Okay, fine.
They gathered round the tree, preparing for the old song, their hearts full of joy, ready to sing along. So arm in arm and hand in hand, the boys started the tune, so joyfully contagious, even Nate could not withstand.
1, 2, 3.
Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are that. Now who could that be?
The boys stopped their chorus, confused as could be. After all, who could be knocking at their door at this hour, so late on Christmas Eve? They opened the door and all at once did stammer. Before them stood their grouchy old landlord, Juan, holding a hammer.
Merry Christmas, Juan. Have you come to see our Christmas tree?
No, I came to put this eviction notice on your door.
Eviction notice?
The roommate, surprised and very confused, swung the door open to see the piece of paper explaining the bad news. No more tragic thing had happened as long as they could remember. Their wide eyes saw the eviction notice saying must be out by the 25th of December.
25th of December? But that's tomorrow. That's Christmas.
Juan, this can't be true. You can't kick us out the day before Christmas.
Their cries and their pleas fell on the deafest of ears, and the cold, ugly face made them realize their fears. This was no Christmas prank or holiday jest. It was their grumpy old landlord evicting them in the very worst way, the way he knew best.
Humbug.
There has to be some sort of mistake. You have to give us notice.
I gave plenty of notice 59 days ago. I left a letter in your broken mailbox I never fixed.
But please, sir. Tomorrow is Christmas.
Juan scowled at the boy with a dusty old sneer and gave not a second thought to ruining his Christmas cheer. He was not concerned with ruining their evening, robbing them of their joy and every ounce of Christmas feeling. His rancid breath barked out.
24 hours, not a minute more.
Juan then turned and slammed the front door. Rob stood speechless. Mate was aghast. Little Ben's lips started to quiver as he turned to Sean and asked,
Does this mean there's no Christmas?
Of course there will still be Christmas, Ben. But it also means we have to start packing, get everything moved out and find a new place by this time tomorrow, or...
Or else what?
Or else we will be homeless.
The roommates were restless, wide awake in their bed. Instead of sugar plums, it was homelessness that danced in their head. Where they would be tomorrow, none of them could know. They tried to drift off to sleep, unable to enjoy the San Diego snow. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, they sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. It was mean old Juan at the neighbor's roof atop a tall ladder. Suddenly his fat frame slipped and he fell with a splatter. With urgency the boys gasped, and from their bed they sprung, and Ben quickly asked,
What's the number for 911?
Mate looked for his robe and Rob for his slippers, but Sean got there first, comfortable in just his knickers. In the cold winter snow, Sean smacked him around, but his body lay resting, motionless on the ground. He called out, but Juan was too injured to hear it, as he drifted into a deep sleep to find his Christmas spirit.
Ugh, I hate Christmas. I hate snow. I hate them all. Great, this is just great. First I'm floating, then I'm falling, and now I hear humming? What is this? Some sort of Christmas Carol torture? These white people are crazy. If I wasn't evicting them, I would raise their rent again. What? Where am I? What is that strange laughter?
Come, Juan, warm yourself by the fire. I made some pastries, and there's a pot of tea, freshly brewed, too.
The grouch stepped inside, a place he did not remember, warming his hands on that cold night in December. A roaring blaze cast light from the fireplace, and beside it floated a strange figure, but he did not recognize the face.
You look strangely familiar. Who are you?
Oh, Juan, you always were so dramatic. I would have thought you would be happy to see me.
To his everlasting shock and eternal surprise, Juan stood before her and could not believe his eyes. A great glowing being beaming with light, with a gown made of tinsel, not too loose, but not too tight.
What? Who are you? And what's with that, glow and tinsel, huh?
Oh, you hadn't changed a bit. So grouchy, even after all these years. But that's all right. I'm here to help you, Juan. I'm the ghost of Christmas past.
Oh, terrific. A glowing woman claiming to be a ghost on Christmas Eve. Did I really hit my head that hard?
He rubbed his eyes over and over again, but the strange glowing lady was not just pretend. The grub couldn't care less about what the spirit was saying. He just wanted to conclude this stupid game they were playing.
No prank, dear. I promise. I'm here to show you something important. Something you've forgotten. You see, I visit people like you who have lost their way. You weren't always like this. Juan, you used to love Christmas, didn't you?
Love Christmas? Me? Ha! Not in this lifetime. I'm not buying it, lady. So if this is one of those redemption things where I get dragged through memory lane, save it. I've got some real problems to deal with, like evictions, raising the rent, writing a book in half Spanish and half English by hand. Not this cheesy holiday spirit nonsense.
Juan stood firm, with a stubborn expression, crossing his arms and avoiding the question. Was there ever a time he loved Christmas? He did not know. Maybe when he was a young child, but that was so long ago.
Enough, Juan. You can resist all you want, but you can't stop what's already begun. You need to see this. You need to remember who you used to be.
Jumping through the window, they flew like a flash, holding the spirit's hand to avoid a potentially fatal crash. After a quick jolt with a great spinning blur, they arrived at their destination, and Juan knew where they were.
What? What is this? Where are we?
We're in your past, Juan. Look here. Do you remember this?
I don't. Wait. This is the old orphanage. I grew up here. There's my old friends, Ernesto and Pablo. Hi, amigos.
They can't hear you, Juan. But they're not why we're here. We're here for him.
The spirit pointed her finger at a boy sitting alone in a chair, wearing a tattered shirt and cargo shorts with a clump of messy hair. He whimpered and wiped something from his cheek, leaving behind a teary wet streak.
Wait, I remember this day. Yes, this is the Christmas morning at the orphanage. Everyone got adopted except...
Except for you.
Except for me. Bah humbug. What does it matter anyway? It taught me how to be self-sufficient, how to be tough, how to never depend on anyone but numero uno.
But at what cost, Juan?
What does it matter? I'm a millionaire now. I made something of myself.
The old man stared, looking down at the lonesome child, all alone on Christmas with an empty stomach, no beans or rice or salsa, not even mild. He was nobody's brother, he was nobody's son. If only he could see just how successful he would become.
That child made something of himself. I made something of myself. Now, if you don't mind, I have a Christmas Eve to ruin. In the present day.
Of course, the present. That's precisely what comes next with these sort of things.
Now take me back, Spirit. Take me to the present.
Be careful what you wish for.
With a crash and a bang and another quick zip, the pair flew once again on a Christmas time warp trip. Back to the present, of course, and Juan would screaming the whole way until his voice was hoarse.
Now that's more like it. Now if you ever think that... Wait, this isn't the house. This is a totally different unit in the complex.
The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to the objects below, when what was wondering eye did appear but a tall man with a beard as furry as a reindeer. He needed a double take, but his agent eyes were so quick, surely this fellow couldn't be Jolly St. Nick. Stomping through the snow, the tall fellow came. He waved and shouted and knew Juan by name.
Oh, Juan, old boy, how the devil are you? Back so soon, huh? Enjoy your trip?
My trip? No. I just hit my head, that's all. I'll probably figure out a way to sue somebody over this.
Juan, you old grump, look at you, all serious and gloomy. Lighten up, it's Christmas Eve.
Great, another one. Who are you supposed to be? A holiday parade reject?
I'm the ghost of Christmas present, buddy, and I'm here to show you the magic happening right now. The joy you're missing while you're busy falling off of ladders. Take a look.
Making his way, boots crunching in the snow, grumpy Juan made his way to the living room window. He peered through the glass and thought no, it couldn't be. The four roommates were packing boxes around a Christmas tree. Rob was in a jolly mood as he packed a box with a grin. Sean was taking down decorations, laughing and sipping a pucktail made with gin. Mate was a buzz, tucking a mile a minute, and young Ben was watching the Polar Express, wishing he had been in it.
They're celebrating, even with the eviction hanging over their heads?
Of course they are, because Christmas isn't about your rules and paperwork, Juan. It's about love, laughter, and spending time together.
Huh. Yeah, well, love and laughter won't pay the rent.
Maybe not, but there's more to life than money, my friend. And tonight, you're going to see just how much you're missing out on.
With a touch on the shoulder and a subtle spin, the two of them appeared somewhere else, a place Juan knew he had been. It was another unit in a complex he managed, and before him stood the trio of Justine and Tyler, while Copper held crutches with a leg that was bandaged.
I know these three. They're the loud troublemakers. They're even worse than the four gay guys next door.
It appears to me that you are more of the troublemaker, Juan. Did you also give them an eviction notice on Christmas Eve?
They were loud and causing a constant disturbance.
Disturbance, huh? Is that what they're doing now?
Juan stepped closer, invisible to the rest, and saw a small dinner plate with not a single crumb left. Then the memory hit him, as if it was spoken, and remembered it was he who had ran over Tiny Copper the other day, leaving his leg limp and broken.
Mama, I'm so hungry. Please, might we have just a little bit to eat?
I wish we could, little one, but our landlord Juan is evicting us, and we need to save the little money we have for Christmas tomorrow.
I'm sorry, buddy. We're all hungry tonight. But tomorrow it's still Christmas, and that's reason enough to be in good spirits.
Yay, I love Christmas. But I must have been a very bad boy this year.
What makes you say such a thing? You're a very good little boy.
But if I was a good boy, why are there no Christmas presents under the tree? Santa gives presents to all the good boys and girls.
My dear sweet boy, there is more to Christmas than just the material.
Material?
Christmas is about the love we share for one another, and no amount of Christmas presents or food can change that.
Merry Christmas. I love you, Mom and Dad.
And we love you,
boy.
Juan rushed out of the room. He couldn't bear the scene. Was it annoyance or sympathy that he felt? Or something in between? He stumped towards the exit and threw open the door and laughed aloud, saying he would rather be outside in the cold than inside with the poor.
Why show me that? To try to make me feel sorry for them? Copper was in the driveway. They should have known I wasn't paying attention.
You're still holding on to that grumpiness, huh? Well, we'll see if the next guy can knock some sense into you.
What do they know? Singing and laughing doesn't change the facts. Rent's due, bills need to be paid, and I'm not some charity. Christmas spirit? Bah! It's a holiday for fools who don't see the world for what it really is. A driveway, where you're either behind the wheel or getting run over. Obviously, right, Spirit? Spirit?
But the spirit was disappearing, laughing as he was fading. He had done his part with empathetic persuading, but Juan did not care for their cheer or singing of a Christmas song, and when he'd looked back up, the spirit of Christmas present had vanished and was completely gone.
But they looked happy. Even with all that is happening to them, how can they just forget everything and choose to be happy? It's nonsense, I say.
Was there more to Christmas? Was there something else? He stood in the cold and was beside himself. The spirit had left, but his words still lingered as the grump coughed and rubbed his numb little fingers. In the still of the night, one stood in deep thought, the echoes of warnings the spirit had brought. His heart, once hardened, now almost started to ache as he feared it was far too late to remake.
I don't want everyone to hate me. I want them to respect me and read my book so I can be a New York Times best-selling author.
Just as Juan's heart began to thaw, a shadow appeared and he gasped in awe. A figure loomed tall, draped in an eerie black cloak, its presence so chilling no words could be spoke.
Please, Spirit, I want no more of this. Please take me back.
With eyes like coals, its gaze met his own, and Juan trembled, feeling chilled to the bone. The spirit said nothing, just raised a cold hand, pointing towards something he couldn't withstand. Through the thick fog, a vision appeared, his tenants all gone, his home dark and seared. Boarded up windows, no life left inside, an empty shell behind a foreclosure sign. Juan fell to his knees, his voice cracked and hoarse.
What is this future? Must I take this course?
The spirit loomed closer, its silence still strong. Then in a deep whisper it said,
tenants, all the rent money will be gone.
His heart raced with fear, but in it did pound, with hope he could change the fate that was bound.
I'll make it right,
Juan cried, full of despair, and in an instant the spirit wasn't there. Laying in the snow, his heart pumped in his chest. He vowed from that moment he'd give it his best. Then all of a sudden he opened his eyes. Sean, Nate, Rob, and Ben stood over him to his surprise. They asked if he was all right, and he replied,
never better.
Then said he had to go get his Christmas sweater.
Did he just say he needs to get a Christmas sweater?
Maybe he hit his head harder than he thought.
He soon returned with his Christmas sweater and packages in hand. The boys looked at one another, unable to understand. The grouch of a landlord was nowhere to be seen, replaced by this new joyful one they could hardly believe. They all went inside, and Juan lit the hearth with care and said he had planned a great feast for all of them to come and share. Before they could react, the door flew open, and in came Tyler, Justine, and Copper, whose little nose was nearly frozen. Juan called them together, his tenants each one, to feast and be merry until the night's done. Then Jacinto and Gligda both entered with cheer, and Juan made his promise, loud and sincere.
No evictions,
he said.
Not now, not today. I'm not kicking anyone out on Christmas, so here you will stay.
The room filled with joy. They could hardly believe what Juan had said. Laughter and love had replaced the holiday dread. The glasses were filled and the plates were set, and Juan scratched his head, pretending to forget. He then clapped his hands and exclaimed,
I remember!
And from the kitchen he carried a perfectly roasted goose on that night in December. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon relieved any feeling of dread. With knife in hand, he went straight to work and carved portions for everyone, as he was no longer a jerk. Late piled on the potatoes, saying he needed his boat to be more loose, and he himself, Juan, laughed as he carved the roast goose. With laughter and love they feasted and sang, and in Juan's heart the bells of kindness rang.
Juan, this is incredible. This goose is immaculate.
Why, thank you. I'll have to give you my recipe.
Sounds like we're bringing the bird next year.
Only as long as there's mashed potatoes.
Oh, Nathan.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew.
Hey, you could stick it wherever you want.
A Merry Christmas to us all. God bless us, everyone.
You mean every Juan.
It's funny because she said Juan.
And soon the fire dimmed, the night turning long, and tiny Copper stood softly to sing his sweet song. With the last note sung, Copper smiled with a glow. Juan smiled and said,
I must be off now. It's my time to go.
No more evictions, no more cold nights. Juan said goodbye to his tenants beneath holiday lights. They gathered in joy where once there was pain, and the spirit of Christmas filled them again. Into his truck with the orange light on top, and to his friends he gave a whistle, and they all waved goodbye, the worries floating away like a thistle. But they heard him exclaim, before he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Do you think they noticed?
No. I think they were too busy celebrating Christmas. But the convergence will reach them soon enough. Closing the portal only bought us time.
Not enough time. They must have caught our scent.
We need to keep moving. We don't want to be caught in the dark when those crawlers get here.
Forget the crawlers. If the Skull People find the asset before we do, none of this will matter.
Thanks for always being so optimistic, Nathan.
There is no Nathan. Only Bulldog. And my optimism died with my timeline, along with every other soul that belonged to it. Except for me.
We'll find it.
I pray that we do. Or else, it will be the end of Christmas.